What's up, guys, gals, non-binary pals, none of the above? This is DL, returning to you with Pokemon content. I am joined today by my friends Blaze
Hello.
and Romeo Dude.
What up?
It's been 10 months since I've made Pokemon content. I know. And this is what my channel is most popular for. I kind of retired, but I'm back in the scene, but currently just running a tournament. Back here in the Kirby Street League, we are running a Generation 4 Draft League tournament. Romeo and Blaze are competing in it. What are you guys' thoughts on it thus far?
It's been very interesting just in the drafting process alone. Remembering things like Rotom still being electric and burst, and some other things, no fairies whatsoever, no hidden abilities. It was just such an interesting process to piece together an 8-man team.
And then in building, I didn't realize all of these items didn't exist in this gen. Like Assault Vest, I didn't even I thought
that was added Gen 5, right?
Yeah.
I think so. And what was the other thing I was looking for?
Eviolite?
Yep, that was the other one. I was like, what?
I do not know when that was added.
Yeah, me either. Well, it was not in this gen.
Well, I don't remember seeing any Chansey in any of the Gen 5 OU games I've seen, so I'm gonna guess 6.
Yeah, I think it was 6.
Yeah, some huge, very different meta. There's no team preview. You'll see that more when you're battling.
Yeah, that too. Crazy.
It was in someone's fan office. It might have been Hydra telling Alec. He's like, make sure you pick a lead. And Alec's like, why? He's like, because there's no team preview. And I was like, he's completely right. It's like random battles.
And then what? Electric types can get paralyzed. What else? What other mechanics are there this gen?
Oh, wait, they can get paralyzed? I didn't even know that.
Yep. That doesn't change until Gen 5. All sorts of weird stuff.
I know,
Scald's not in the game.
Yeah, Scald. That was the other thing. I was trying to build a Vaporeon set, and I typed in Scald and it said unavailable. What?
Yeah, dude, you just set up in the face of every water type with no fear. You're like, I'm clicking Swords Dance, and I'm feeling good about it. Anyways, let's this video is supposed to be our draft analysis video. Let's go in order, I think, of the drafting spots. What do you guys think?
Sure.
So obviously this is a 9-mon format that you went to, very similar to the 8-mon, but you're gonna get an extra garbage mon. So teams, the drafts aren't gonna be perfect. They're gonna have weaknesses. That's kind of the nature of the format. But there's also a lot less pressure. Like, there's so many things you have to account for, I feel like, when you're playing, like in a Gen 7 draft that you have to consider. Like, oh, I need something for Zygarde, and I need something for Zam, I need something for Coco, etc.,
Right.
Now, what were the mons you guys were considering when you were drafting? Like, what did you have in the back of your head? Like, I need something for this threat.
So, we'll go down the list eventually, but my first 2 picks were Gengar and Lucario. Lucario specifically, I knew I really wanted that just to check what would be Blissey or Chansey if anyone drafted it, or Clefable, which I ended up drafting. Spoilers. But I knew that getting rid of those normal types for Gengar would be pretty big for me.
I didn't really have a plan. I was just kind of picking things that I wanted to try and didn't know if I'd ever get a chance to try in a different format. I really didn't have any idea. All of these Pokemon that were in tier 1 are usually like tier 2 or 3, so that was kind of interesting. But yeah, going into it, I wasn't like, oh, I know that this Pokemon's a big threat in this generation, because I really didn't have any clue.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird seeing tier 1 Celebi.
Right, yeah.
And like tier 1 Swampert.
Tier 1 Swampert was the one I was just referencing. And even tier 1 Gengar is usually tier 2.
I feel like it should be tier 1 in Generation 8.
Yeah, that's true.
It's nice to have Levitate back on it though. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, Levitate Gengar. I'd say when I was drafted on behalf of Jamesy in this draft, I'd say the mon I was, the thing I was scared of is Infernape.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So Shen.
That mon is a menace this generation.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only real
Especially,
great checks are like Suicune, and that I grabbed Slowbro.
With hidden power back too, like that changes that.
Oh yeah, 70 power hidden power.
Does in Gen 4 does Nido King do the Nidos have Shoe Force yet?
Nope. And Slowbro doesn't have regen either. Gyarados doesn't have Moxie.
Mm-hmm.
Dragonite doesn't have multi-scale.
Gliscor
doesn't have poison heal. Alakazam doesn't have magic guard. It's like, what is this world I'm living in?
Yeah.
So anyways, we should probably get into the drafts.
Sure.
All right, so let's talk about JG's draft. So he's got Suicune, Shaman, Entei, Espeon, Steelix, Hariyama, Raichu, Muk, and Vespiquen. Suicune is really good, obviously, this gen. I think this is the last gen that Suicune is OU. But there's no Scald.
Fighting Suicune.
So that's the one thing, and no Scald. I know it's UU in Gen 5, but I feel like in a draft tournament, it'd be better in Gen 4. I mean, in Gen 5 than in Gen 4, just because of the Scald diff.
Does Espeon still have Magic Bounce in this gen, or no?
I don't know.
Is that a hidden one?
I'm looking right now, actually.
Yeah, so JG, I don't know how experienced he is. It's his first time playing in the KSL. He's lurked in our server forever, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad he joined.
Yeah, so he's got a Firewater Grass core for his starters, including the legendary dog / Raikou is definitely a cat, not a dog. And Shaman, a hedgehog. I don't know. I feel like when you only have 9 mons, it's really awkward to grab so many monotypes. Like, the only Pokemon on his team that are 2 types are Steelix, and I don't actually know if Vespiquen has a second typing other than Bug.
I think it's Bug flying.
Yeah.
Actually, well, that mon doesn't do anything anyways.
So. I think he probably drafted it as a defogger because that's his only.
Well, there's no defog in this generation, so.
Oh, are you sure? I think there is.
No, defog does not defog until Generation 6.
Wait, what does it do then?
It doesn't do anything competitively in this game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's only Rapid Spin, so this guy has no hazard removal. That's a good point. He's got no hazard removal with an Entei.
With Entei and Vespiquen.
I'm glad I'm learning that on Camera Proof.
You drafted a spinner, right?
Yeah,
okay, you have Armaldo.
Good thing I did. I almost did it.
Nervous.
All right, so
can cover it.
So yeah, this guy is really lacking in a lot of typings. He does not have a single. His only Ghost resist is Steelix, or it's Steel resist Ghost in this gen.
And he has no psychic immunity. He has no dark type.
Yeah, I don't think that psychic immunity was as important of a thing back then.
Sure.
Because I don't feel like there was as many monstrous Calm Mind psychic types.
Yeah, right. I don't even know. I think was Selby the only psychic in G1? Metagross, I guess. And Starmie. No one drafted Starmie.
Yeah, no one drafted Starmie. Yeah, and then there's Zam in tier 2.
Yeah, I mean he has a rocker with Steelix, no removal as you said, no magic bounce from Espeon. I mean Hariyama still hits hard. Raichu is still decent with hidden power at this point. No Volt Switch though in Gen 4. So
wait, are you sure about Volt Switch?
Yeah, Volt Switch came out in Gen 5.
Gen 5.
That's crazy.
Amolga had it.
Yeah, so I think that, he has some decent Pokemon, but he definitely has a lot of shortcomings in his draft. And I feel like, he doesn't have a lot of strong resistances on his team because he's got so many monotypes. I feel like his team's going to be really easy to pick apart that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's going to be a
I mean,
really heavy
Suicune-
reliance on Suicune to tank, like, everything. And, Suicune as a Pokemon who only has rest and leftovers for any recovery, I think it's going to get worn down pretty quickly. Especially if he goes against somebody with spikes. I think somebody just gets up 3 layers of spikes and rocks against him, and it's GG. You just click roar and make Suicune come in like 4 times.
I guess for his sake, I feel like spikes are less common in Gen 4. I may be wrong, but besides Skarmory, I don't really know what else is cooking it.
There's quite a few mons that got drafted. They get spikes.
No one drafted Skarmory.
Yeah, Skarmory did not get drafted, but Cloyster got drafted, Roserade,
Okay.
Forretress, Frostlass.
There's T-Spikes, I guess, too. Tentacruel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, T-Spikes. He does have a grounded poison, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Anyways, so yeah, I'd say JG probably has probably the lower half of drafts. I don't know if it's the worst one though, but
No,
I'd say it's
I don't
definitely.
think so.
I think it's probably like bottom 3 maybe.
I mean, I have to battle JG, and I was like working on some stuff today. It is a little. I mean, it's a little bit hard to find something to work for all of it, but that could also just be my Pokemon against his.
I think his team's also like really predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Shaman, all the other mons basically do the same thing every single time. Like they don't have a lot of variation to them. It's like, oh, is it gonna be like protect or rest on Suicune?
Yeah. Well, he probably always has to bring Suicune, Shaman, and maybe even Raichu or Steelix of some kind, I guess, maybe for like electric resist or immunity.
Well, electric immunity, because there's no Volt Switch, isn't as essential in this generation.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's an interesting fact.
Sure.
Entei does not have Sacred Fire yet.
Ooh.
Okay, well that's gonna bring down my rating of this draft a lot. Right.
I just looked, and yeah, it has Fire Blast, Fire Fang, Flamethrower, and
Yeah, because I know Raikou doesn't have Aura Sphere, so I'm guessing they probably all don't have those moves. I don't even know what Suicune's move is.
Shoot Gold. I don't know either.
I think Raikou does have Aura Sphere in this gen.
Let's look.
That's not what Ian told me.
On Gen 4 OU, he has it. But I don't know, because I know it was event locked at some point.
Yeah, it's nature locked until Generation 8. You have to be naive, and you have to be shiny.
It might just be different on Showdown then. Do you think?
Anyways, so let's talk about Blaze's draft, not about Raikou. Alright, so Blaze has Gengar, Lucario, normal type Clefable. That's an interesting one that we got to remember. Just a lot of the things you think of fairies now are normal then. Mesprit, Evire, Armaldo, Charizard, Torterra, and Wailord. Nice water type you got there, homie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wailord pick.
Very interesting team overall. I like Gengar off the bat. It was either Gengar or Tito. But I think Gengar is a pretty solid special offensive threat off the bat. And obviously it still has Levitate at the moment. So I thought it was a really good pairing with Lucario. Covers the ground weakness. Lucario is good for dark type switch-ins. And gets rid of the normal types for Gengar and the dark types. So I thought those both paired pretty well. Clefable, obviously just a fat normal. Even if it's not a fairy yet, it still has Rock, Swish, Knockoff. Pretty much everything it has.
And it's got the broken move. Can't forget about T-Wave. 100% accurate, hits electric types this shot.
Exactly. One thing I did learn.
Oh yeah, and paralysis is quarter speed too.
Yeah, Will-O-Wisp is only 75% accurate in this gen.
Oh yeah, but burn does extra damage.
And then Mesprit, some Pivot, Rocks, another Levitate user, just a pair of, same with Electivire. I love Electivire's coverage, so I thought that would be pretty good this gen. It's pretty hard. Armaldo for spin, rocks, Charizard just for flying type. I have to go change a set because I can no longer run defog, get rid of hazards. And then Torterra is pretty solid, another rocker, grass and ground type. Switches in on some stuff pretty well with some people drafted like Jolteon, Magneton, and some other mons. And then Warlord, just he's fat, he's a water type.
So
I'll
I'd
try to
say
get some memes done with him.
I'd say your top 5 mons are all good, but I'd say the biggest downsides you're seeing for your draft is I think you're a little over reliant on Mesprit to check particular things, especially it's your only psychic resist. Since your steel doesn't resist psychic and you don't have a dark. And it's gotta feel bad to have Wailord as your water type, right?
I mean, I did it on purpose. I was looking at a few and yeah, I thought why not? Will I ever draft Warlord and something else? No. Except maybe LTPL, but
I do like the Evire pick. I feel like because things were so much slower then, a lot of Pokemon that really don't get a chance to shine nowadays, which I'm particularly thinking of like slower offensive mons like like Electivire, Magmortar types, those like 80 speeds should have a really good opportunity to shine this gen.
I almost went Magmortar Electivire too, but I just won the flying type with Charizard.
I like that you like the Gengar, Clefable, Lucario is pretty smart too because like knockoff is like nothing this gen also, so like Gengar can switch into a fighting type with knockoff, I would think probably, which you don't really want to fight a fighting type with a normal Clefable, especially with no like does Clefable even get a psychic move?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Clefable gets psychic and Psyshock.
Oh, nice.
I believe, or maybe I know it gets Star Power.
I don't think Psyshock did.
Not Psyshock.
It's just Psyshock. Just Psychic and Zen Headbutt. I mean, Psychic is still one of the best Psychic moves. So
yeah.
Yes, I'd say not Blaze's best draft, but he's got some really threatening mons. I'd say. I'd say he's got a good like offensive core, but I could definitely see him like defensively crumbling as well.
Yeah, I agree. It was interesting. It was a learning process, but I'm happy with it. So I'll try to have some fun.
I feel like your issue you're gonna run into is that it's gonna be really hard for you to fit Armaldo in your builds.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty kind of a niche mon.
You're like, oh, I need my bug rock type this game.
if I bring it,
you need to spin.
It's literally just a spin, and it does not have Swift Swim yet, so I cannot abuse that against Georgia's winning team. But
or set rain with your Wailord.
All right, so let's talk about Shen, who's doubling down on the you must have an ice type to win the KSL strat. With Sneasel and Glaceon, as well as Tropius, Licky, Nidoking, Registeel, Regular Rotom, Blastoise, and Infernape. I feel like Infernape, I think, might be the strongest mon in this format. I honestly feel like his draft goes downhill from there. Blastoise is a good mon. Regular Rotom, I gotta feel like feels underwhelming when all the other Rotoms are also Ghost Electric.
Yeah. If I will point out he did get sniped a decent amount, so we were just kind of making do towards the end of the draft. But
yeah, but I know he wanted that Registeel. He did not get sniped on a Steel type. He wanted that one.
I just think like a fighting type, like a good fighting type, could really do some damage to like a lot of his things.
Yeah, literally a fighting type with like Ice Punch. That really
like
covers half his team.
It's like the whole bottom half after Rotom.
I mean, I'm looking at, obviously the tier 5 mons in this format were not very good, But I gotta feel like Shen's still walking away with some of the worst ones. With Tropius
There's
Glaceon.
even some good
I
ones.
suggested Tropius as a joke, and he went with it.
I would have
I
taken
respect it.
Blossom, but to be fair, you guys,
Yeah.
there's like 6 people who saved their grass type for tier 5.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
true.
wanted, everyone wanted Meganium.
Yeah, great mon.
I don't know. I mean, Ape, he's going to win or lose games based on that Pokemon alone. He's gonna put the team on his back. I don't think he's got really any other. I mean, Nidoking doesn't have Sheer Force.
Is Mach Punch in this gen?
Yeah, Mach Punch is in this gen.
No Shell Smash for Blastoise yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Well, no Shell Smash in general, but
So what makes Blastoise a tier 2 then in this gen?
Spin.
There's no shells.
Spin.
Oh,
Spin
yeah.
water, really.
Gotcha.
I mean, there are not a lot of good spinners this generation.
No.
There's Starmie, and then there's everything else.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is people didn't draft Starmie, Skarmory, or any of the tier 1 Rotoms. I feel like people really shy away from getting utility mons as their best mon. But this gen might be the one where it's justified.
Well, yeah, with all 3 of those Rotoms being Ghost Still, and I mean, those signature moves aren't, for them at least, aren't stab.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I was playing this, I would have drafted Skarmory. I would have run Double Dance Skarmory. You know? Best set.
But yeah, I think Tishen knows that this isn't it's not his best team, but I think he's gonna work with it.
Yeah, I think everybody's gonna have a pretty similar feeling about their teams here. Alright, then we go to Witchblades. I drafted his first 2 Pokemon and told him the next 2 to draft, and it's all downhill from there.
The first 4 are really good.
I mean, you cannot be mad about Dragonite Magnezone.
And
Milotic.
Milotic.
And then Claydol is a great spinner in this gen.
One thing to point out, Dragonite does not have multi-scale yet, correct?
Correct. But it does have 120 base power outrage.
Yes, that is
true.
True.
It's so interesting that he did it fire like a Sun team with Milotic. I don't know how that.
Well, the thing is, there's no drought this game. The only Pokemon with drought in Generation 4 is Kyogre. Not Kyogre, Groudon.
Oh, he just has Flash Fire? So then what?
I don't understand the Rhyperior pick, because when he already has Claydol, and the Ninetales pick when he already has Typhlosion.
Yeah, Ninetales is a little weird.
I think he thinks he's running a Sun team because he got Victory Bell too. He thinks that he's gonna have Chlorophyll, Victory Bell,
and Drought. Yeah.
Is Weather Ball thing yet? I don't know when that came into.
But even with the Sun team, I feel like Rhyperior isn't a great pick because you can get Solar Beamed by the other side.
Yeah.
Not to mention, Solid Rock isn't as strong in this gen, plus Hidden Power Grass is even stronger.
Yeah.
I don't know. He has 4 really good starts there, and I think Typhlosion was a really nice pick. And the other 4, like, I don't see what Rhyperior brings. I mean, first, his team's really freaking slow. I mean, Typhlosion and Ninetales are his fast mons, so those are like around like 100, but they're both pure fire types. And then it's like freaking Milotic after that.
Oh boy.
Claydol does get Trick Room, so there's always that possibility.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, Absol's base 75 speed and super frail. No knockoff. It's looking nice slash.
Are we allowed to dry baton pass or no?
Yeah, that's our rules.
Baton pass?
Though I think it is banned in Gen 4 OU though, actually.
It is. Yeah. Alec asked yesterday.
Let's see. Speaking of Alec, let's go on to his draft.
Boom.
Alright, so Heatran, Cresselia, Cloyster, Mismagius, Umbreon, Rhydon, Manectric, Primeape, and Leafia. I think this is one of the better drafts.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Heatran and Cresselia, that's like I can already imagine how much of a pain that would be to fight.
Yeah, especially with the Wish support from Umbreon.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a really good spinner this gen in Cloyster, which also gives him access to spikes and some priority.
Yeah.
Mismagius, I mean, there's not a lot of good ghost types this gen. He got a pretty solid one. And while Rhydon doesn't have Eviolite, I mean, Rhydon was still a good mon in the early generations, even without it.
Still has base.
Rhydon.
And I feel like his tier 5s are pretty good too.
Yeah, Primeape is a pretty good fighting type for what it needs to do.
Yeah, I think it's the main issue you see with it right these days in comparison to the other fighting types. I don't think it has knockoff, but that doesn't matter this gen.
Mm-mm.
No, I mean he has U-turn at least, so there's some pivot with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like
it's pretty fast.
Besides Baton Pass, but
95.
Yeah, didn't that thing like run ZU last gen or whatever PU?
Yeah, I think it did.
But it has the punches, post combat, U-turn. That's really it.
It's always weird how about mons that are like the best mon in like some extremely low tier. It's like you're the king of trash.
Yeah.
That's outrage. Click outrage.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Cresselia in general, I think it's going to be a big problem for people.
Yeah, Heatran also is like so good.
Yeah.
People sleep on that mon. Especially when he's got like
it's very scary.
He's got a lot of good support for the Heatran as well, between the Umbreon and the Crust. I'd say the main problem he's gonna have is he doesn't have physical breakers other than like Primeape, and if you wanted to run offensive Rhydon, because there's no Shell Smash for Cloyster. I believe it's primarily a special mon this gen.
I mean, hey, 130 attack Rhydon, that's still hitting.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, but without Eviolite, it's really hard to afford to run offense on Rhydon. To, invest in attack.
It's probably going to be like a berry every time.
He could do offensive Leafeon. Leafeon has 110 attack. Never knew that.
Yeah, because Pure Grass is a great offensive typing. You're only resisted by 7 types.
Can run, what does Leafeon have?
I don't know, I'm looking right now.
Never mind. We don't talk about Leafeon.
Not looking good.
Some nice coverage you got there, huh? Yeah, you got like Zen Headbutt or something? X-Scissor maybe?
Not even Zen Headbutt. It literally, its only offensive move you would ever use are Leaf Blade. Offensive physical are Leaf Blade and X-Scissor.
Yikes, dude.
He's
Grass, you can hit grass types.
Yeah, I guess.
You got the 2 worst offensive typings in the entire game combined.
He can still click knockoff, to be fair. It's just not doing anything.
Alright, so Romeo, we got your team.
Blah, blah, blah.
Tyranitar, Gliscor, Alakazam, Jolteon, Vaporeon, Hitmonchan, Dusclops, Rapidash, and Vileplume. So I feel like your team is full of Pokemon that are much better later on, namely Gliscor, Zam, Vaporeon, Dusclops, and Vileplume.
When I drafted Gliscor, I didn't know it. Well, when I drafted all of these Pokemon, I didn't know that Gliscor didn't have Toxic Heal. I didn't know that Vaporeon didn't get Scald. I didn't know that Assault Vest didn't exist, or Eviolite.
You knew Vileplume didn't have Strength Sap, right?
I did know Vileplume didn't have Strength Sap.
And did you know that Zam didn't have Magic Guard?
No, I actually didn't know that either. However, I wasn't planning on getting Vileplume. I wanted Meganium, but it was sniped right before me.
All right, well, hopefully you'll make Xavier proud.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Hey, that Pokemon has an emote in our server. That's got to count for something.
I mean, T-Tar alone is still a big threat this gen.
T-Tar is like a top 2 mon in Gen 4 OU in Jirachi, which we banned, by the way. In case anybody watching is wondering.
I mostly drafted Gliscor more for like how it pairs with Tyranitar, because like I don't know, I think it's a good fighting type switch in as long as it doesn't have Ice Punch, but even then, And
Still run rocks.
yeah, and rocks, pivot, and I don't think Alakazam really fits
Yo,
that
James
great. I
is
just
about
want
to
him to use
sweep
it.
you with Lantern, dude. So seriously, look at Lantern and look at your team.
Yeah, it's true. I'll get messed up.
He's just switching between Jolteon and Vaporeon.
Yeah, go into your Assault Vest at lunch, Jam. I dare you.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
I'll hack it in.
You'll hack your down for it. No, pretty interesting.
I don't know. He,
Overall, I mean, Dusclops is bulky, even without.
yeah,
Eevee,
even
like,
without
almost
Eviolite, it's pretty fat.
130 of each. Just no HP.
Oh, yeah, this was the gen that Dusknoir was OU, but it was like the Noobmon. It was like running Arcanine and UU last gen.
Which now the line is Poltergeist, so that's a completely different story. But
Right, exactly. I do really I just kind of drafted like Pokemon. I like Pokemon who can just like kind of like click one move and it will do a lot of damage.
You're a brain dead player.
Yeah. So I really that's why I like Rapidash, and I've used Rapidash before. Obviously, it doesn't have the same amount of moves as it did in last gen, but like Rapidash can like, I don't know, a big thing with Tyranitar and Gliscor is a grass weakness, so I thought Rapidash
Gliscor is not weak to grass.
Yeah, but like doesn't switch in great. Still neutral on it.
Oh, okay. I mean, oh yeah, your grass resists are trash. It's just your tier 5s are your only grass resist. Holy.
Yeah.
Did somebody hack in and get a Kartana in here?
My Kotaro is quite a barber on this team.
Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Romeo, you better hope you don't play Jake or JG. I see why you were the one sweating about JG, weren't you? Second. Yeah, it's probably because of that shame.
Oh, you should see the things I've set up to counter the Celebi.
I can't wait.
It's like Choice Scarf Tyranitar with a bug move or something. I don't even know if it gets a bug move, dude. Let me U-turn, Choice Scarf, Gliscor, just scarf everything with a U-turn on it.
Yeah.
Banded Dusclops.
I had Jolteon Soul Signal Beam before it was snapped out.
Alright, I think that's it for Romeo. Then we get to talk about Jamesy. So I drafted this team on behalf of Jamesy. So it kind of looks like a DL draft, but it's also intended to be a Jamesy draft.
I think it's good.
I think he was hammered the whole time, so he's probably pretty happy that I drafted for him.
He definitely was.
Alright.
You covered the electric weakness of Aerodactyl and Slowbro pretty well, I think.
Oh, yeah, 3 electric immunities.
Yeah.
And a Venusaur.
And Venusaur, yeah.
I'd say the main issues this draft has is it's a bit on the slow side. After Aerodactyl, it goes down to Haunter and then PZ. But it does have really good priority with Scizor and Mamoswine. Like that's some of the hardest hitting priority moves you're gonna see this generation. And also Aerodactyl is like the fastest Mon anybody drafted by a pretty wide margin. So that's really nice speed control. What I really liked is I feel like I got really good tier 5s for Jamesy. Like I feel like Haunter and Lantern are really legit.
Yeah. I was looking at Haunter but I went with Dusclops instead. Pretty good Mon, Haunter is.
Yeah, it's got like 115 special attack. It's like, what?
He's at.
It's like, why? That's harder than most. Oh, that's like 20 more than Kingdra has. And you know, it's got good coverage. You know, it's got like Dark Pulse, whatever, Energy Ball.
Levitate.
It's got Levitate. You know, it's got Wisp. Lantern has T-Wave, which is broken. And it's got Heal Bell, which is nice. And I really liked how PZ fit into the team. I was looking at getting Kingdra in that slot, but I got sniped. But it's like it's a special attacker that hits so freaking hard that you can't ignore it, and it kind of
Yeah.
nullifies the fact that James's big three are all like big physical attackers.
No, Porygon Z is awesome.
I believe
Yeah,
it's
he's
the
fan running.
if you nasty plot up, you two-shot Blissey
Whoa.
with
Tri-Attack?
Tri-Attack. Yep. I think that
Yeah,
might
it's
be
a good
Life
team,
Orb
I like it.
boosted, but still.
So, doesn't matter.
Yeah, like
worth
you're
it.
you're two-shotting a Blissey with a special attack at just +2.
Does
Like,
somebody have Blitzy?
yeah, Hydra has
Hydra does.
Blissey. So he's shaking in his goddamn boots here in this
Oh,
analysis.
yeah.
So one thing to point out, I don't know if you said this yet, Mamoswine does not have thick fat yet.
Ooh, interesting.
Um,
Oblivious is still a
I think-
decent ability for lead Mamoswine, though.
yeah, lead rock.
Mm-hmm. But obviously the only Mamoswine that's what you should ever run is Adamant Life Orb.
Totally.
Okay, I can tell somebody here doesn't watch enough Blunder content. I don't know. Kind of mad. I got sniped from my spinner. I had to get Sand Slash, but it's still a pretty solid mon, I feel. At
Yeah,
least.
Sandslash that's pretty high attack.
Like it's better than Armaldo. That's for sure. Way easier to fit in my build. Like, oh yeah, a ground type versus Pug Rock. Yeah. I don't know. Mamoswine and Aerodactyl and Scizor, like, you can wall maybe one or two, but the third one's going to kill the rest of your team. That's basically how I feel.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen this combo of 3 before.
I definitely have drafted 2 of these 3 together several
You've done
times.
Scizor and Mamoswine before, right?
I think I had Scizor or Arrow before.
Sure.
I always wanted to draft Arrow Mamo too. I want to do like Mega Arrow Mamo once.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think it's a pretty good draft. The main thing I don't like is that there's no Dark type, and it's a little slow. But at least Aerodactyl's a really fast pursuit user.
Yeah.
Did you know that Scizor Oko Zam?
Really? With Bullet Punch?
Yup. It does like 103 min on the calc I ran.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. Anyways.
Better watch out.
Yeah. Alright, and we got Jake's draft. Jake's got Celebi, Raikou, which is the scary freaking top 2. Bronzong, Hitmontop, Drepion, Tauros, Drifblim, Lapras, and Camerupt. I think Jake's got a pretty good draft. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he does. I was building against it today. Pretty hard.
Yeah, because Steel resists Ghost and Dark this gen, he doesn't even stack weaknesses. Well, at least doesn't stack Psychic weaknesses with the Bronzong and Celebi double Psychic core.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, Raikou is extremely fast this gen and hits hard for this gen too.
I went Warlord because Lapras got sniped. I do remember that now.
Before you should have gone with Walrein. Walrein's like the king of NU this gen with Snover. Snover got banned, dude.
I wish. I guess Camerupt with Lapras is fine, but I don't know. I've never like really thought of Camerupt as a good mon.
Yeah, Camel's kind of an unmon. I mean, he didn't have a ground or a fire, so I guess he just really needed the types. I don't think a fire is really necessary this gen. This is one of the worst gens for fire types.
Yeah, he probably could have gone without Tauros, I think, and gotten one of those. Well, I guess Tauros is pretty fast though.
Yeah,
So.
Tauros is his. Well, he's got Raikou though, and
Yeah.
Drapion, Celebi. His team already had pretty decent speed, so yeah, maybe he should have gone for a ground type with the tier 4 pick.
Yeah.
I mean, Tauros is okay, but
It does damage. I was running calcs with it today, but I think that is probably his most expendable mon.
I wonder how much work Driftblim does in Gen 4. Because I know it's kind of considered like an unmon in Gen 7, and then it's actually decent in Gen 8.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm interested to see what he does with it because, like, all I know of Driftblim is like
Evasion, minimize
on the terrains. Yeah, like how would he use on burden unless it was a berry, I guess, but kind of hard to make work.
I think it's got like an ability that makes it go faster when it's burnt or something.
I don't think it has that in this gen though. I just looked at it.
That'll be interesting. I don't know. Maybe he'll use.
Yeah,
I don't think there's even gems, so you can't like in this gen. I don't think you can like flying gem acrobatics. That's like a Gen 5 thing.
Yeah.
I'll be curious. I think his draft's really solid.
Yeah.
If there's anything to say, his top mons are pretty special. I mean, yeah, pretty specially heavy with the. Like, I don't think he's got a super scary physical threat.
Drapion.
I mean, Drapion's attack is like 95.
I guess Tauros is pretty scary physical threat, but
yeah, I guess that's probably what he went for, is just to get something like hard hitting physical.
No,
but it's a pure normal.
No sheer force yet.
No sheer force, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not gonna crit you all the time because it's not Gen 1 anymore, Tauros. Sorry, buddy.
Hey,
has anger point.
I've never seen that activated. I would love to try to get it activated at one
That would be
point.
awesome.
Okay. Let's see. So that brings us to Eon's draft. Eon got Metagross, Rotom Frost, which is the first time you'll ever see a Rotom Frost drafted first of all the Rotoms. Maybe the last time too. Tentacruel, Frostlass, Toxicroak, Swellow, Houndoom, Golem, and Meganium. I think Eon's got some really good tier 5s too here.
Meganium is a great mon. For what it does, it's pretty good.
For a tier 5 in Generation 4, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Golem also kind of like slapped in the early gens.
Yeah, Golem's good.
I mean, it's got Explosion.
30?
It's like 500 base power move this gen, dude.
Has Rockhead, so it can use Life Orb.
Mm-hmm. His draft. What to say?
A little ground weak, perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the.
I'd say he's really fire weak.
Especially.
Yeah, especially if it's a fire that can carry coverage for Golem.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think a lot of really hard-hitting fire types are actually drafted. I mean, there's Ape, and then the next, and Entei. Oh, I guess Heatran too. And then you're going down to like Typhlo and Zard. I don't know, he's gonna get messed up by Camerupt, and Jake's gonna make us eat our words.
Yeah, he might. That's literally its two biggest weaknesses.
When Camel stabs hit Golem super effectively, and the Houndoom, dude, this guy Eon gets messed up by Camerupt.
Yeah, really
he's gonna get 6-0 by the Camel. It's not even Mega. Jake, you better bring rock polished Camel.
Swallow, what was it? He picked Swallow decently early on, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't have the high special attack this gen, and I don't think it has Boom Burst either. So it's just a Guts mon this gen. But it is really fast, 125 speed, I believe, which is going to make it the second fastest mon that got drafted right after Arrow. So that's nice.
I think Jolteon is.
Oh yeah, Jolteon's 130 speed as well. Well, yeah.
2 ghost types too. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a little
Especially with
awkward.
Metagross.
He's really dark weak. His only dark resist
Yeah.
is Houndoom.
And most, I don't know, most dark types probably have a fight. Like, I know Tyranitar has a fighting move.
I mean, they're gonna have a fighting move or a ground move,
Yeah.
most likely. Those are pretty
What
common
dark types
coverage
maybe?
moves. And Houndoom is not
Yeah.
exactly a physical beast, especially with rocks up.
Not really.
So there's just not a lot of dark types this gen. I'm looking at the draft and like,
Yeah, nobody drafted
Umbreon,
Weavile or Sableye, which
I mean,
are some of the
there are
other
no
top dark
in
types.
Gen 1.
Skunk Tank's coming up.
Yeah, Skunk Tank's kind of scary against my team, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, Crawdaunt didn't get drafted either. He doesn't have adaptability this gen.
Poor Groudon.
I love Crawdaunt, dude. If we do a Gen 5 draft, I'm drafting Crawdaunt. I always wanted to get that on, and I never did it. But I think Gen 5 might be a good time to get Crawdaunt.
Yeah.
I used to spam them
Oh,
on in the
anything
Gen 8 OU ladder. It was so good. Anyways, so Eon's team, I feel like Frostus is a really weak hitting on. So his only great speed control is like Swallow.
Process? Actually, Gen 8 with triple axle and poltergeist.
Okay, but we're talking about Gen 4 Frostus.
I know. It's bad in Gen 4.
One thing we'll say is he's got pretty good hazard control. Tentacruel is a great spinner.
Yeah. I think it's at T-Spikes.
Yep, and he's got access to regular spikes from Frostlass. Metagross might be kind of pigeonholed into running rocks, which is annoying for it. Because his only other rocker is Golem.
That doesn't fit every time.
That's more of a situational bring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his team is like really physically heavy too. His only special like threat really is like Rotom.
Houndoom.
But Houndoom's weak. And a low tier.
Yeah. It's got 110 special attack.
Oh, it has 110? I thought it was like 95 or something like that.
No, it's 95 speed.
Ah, that would explain it. No, but yeah, his top mons, I'd say physical defense is really gonna get a lot of value against him, because I feel like Metagross and Swallow is like really like his big offensive threats in my opinion. Like that's kind of his core, is like breaker and cleaner.
Yeah.
So let's go to JoJo. So JoJo is draft noob, and he drafted Manual Rain. Except he didn't get Ludicolo. I don't understand the Togekiss pick in particular. I think that should have been a Ludi. Also, his tier 5s are memes, obviously. So he's got basically 7 Mons, and of those 7, 4 of them are water types.
And 2 are electric.
You mean flying?
Wait.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have 2 electric types as well, but I'm talking about the 7.
You're not talking about the meme Patreon.
Yeah. If this was doubles, it'd be a different story. But or maybe if it was Ubers, Shedinja's actually good in Ubers this gen.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the gen Shedinja was good in Ubers. Abomasnow was also good in Ubers this gen. Fun fact. And Abomasnow was good in doubles this gen as well.
So Zapdos is bulky.
Yeah, Zapdos obviously is a fantastic Pokemon. Empoleon is great. Machamp is awesome. Kingdra's good. I think I don't understand the decision to go like Manual Rain with Kingdra Kabutops and get Empoleon. I feel like you should definitely get one or the other.
Yeah.
Draco Meteor is a move this gen. Was that introduced?
Yeah, Draco's introduced this gen, and it's 140 base power.
It is. It's a heavy hitter.
Yeah, that might be a part of the reason why there's like so many dragons banned this gen. Because Draco Meteor is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, very interesting team.
especially with no fairies. Yeah, this team's interesting.
Togekiss, normal flying.
The thing is, if you get rid of the rain, or if he doesn't set up the rain, or his Rainmon dies or something, his team is incredibly slow.
Yeah, and grass like really just rips through it.
Yeah, I mean, this team is depending on Zapdos for like everything, it feels like to me.
Hmm.
And
Zapdos is the
is
speed, Zapdos is the defense, Zapdos is the resist.
what's Zapdos the flying step for that? It's is it Air Slash? Does it have Air Slash yet? No, it's Air Cutter.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and Zapdos doesn't
It
get
just
Hurricane
got
either, so it's a really weird electric to have on a rain team as well, because it doesn't really
Yeah.
abuse
I
it very
mean,
well.
those thunders be hitting different, I guess, but
Yeah, that's about it though. And I always preferred running Discharge on my Zapdos, but I'm toxic, so.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, no dark type, so psychics are just gonna go.
I mean, yeah, when you stack the same
Yeah.
typing over and over again, you're gonna be lacking in a lot of resists. I mean, yeah. I mean, his only electric resist is Quag as well, because he has no grass on a rain team, which I think is a mistake.
yeah. Totally.
I mean, he's just
I'm
gonna
pretty sure
say
doesn't
it's
even get
Shedinja
both of
for
them.
everything, by the way, so watch out. Shedinja's an electric resist.
It's true.
Alright. Let's talk about Hydra's team.
Let
Gyarados, Flygon, Rotom Fan, Fortress, Blissey, Sceptile, Gallade, Skunting, and Aggron. Now, I would like to report that he said he was drunk when he drafted Blissey and Fortress.
I like Fortress. I think it's a good mod.
I know you like Fortress. It's pinned in the chat that you like Fortress. And you lost, so... That mon is an unmon. This is the last generation that Fortress is okay, I think. Or actually, maybe it was okay in Gen 5 too. That mon spins and it gets up hazards, and in this generation, that's okay, apparently.
Yep.
What to say? Where's the special attack? It's Rotom and Sceptile?
Skunk Tank, arguably. I mean, they can run it either, I guess. But...
Yeah. But
so
I don't know. To run a special skunk tank, you'd have to have like I don't know.
I mean, I've run mixed skunk tank before, but special's not great.
Yeah, yeah. Like you'd need like life orb to really make it worth it.
You really only do that when flamethrower is like really good when you're against like a Scizor or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sceptile is like his only fast Pokemon. It goes from like Sceptile to Flygon, and then it goes from Flygon to like Rotom. I mean, also, Gyarados hits like a freaking truck this generation, and so does Flygon.
Yeah, that's true.
This Flygon this gen, you can press Draco and then press Earthquake, and you don't even feel bad about it.
Yeah. Oh, Flygon.
Flygon's like an 80 special attack, but when your stab move is 140 base power, it feels a little stronger.
Yeah, interesting team overall.
Yeah.
In my prep, I will say I kept forgetting that Rotom Fan was Ghost Electric.
Yeah, I also just forgot that. I was going to say something about it being flying, and then I was like, oh, wait.
His only ice resists are No, he's got Aggron and Fortress. Interesting. Double Steel.
I mean...
Taking all the steel types.
Yeah.
His draft's okay.
I wonder why he drafted Aggron. I guess for rocks.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, probably for rocks, because Fortress doesn't get
Metang
rocks,
is
right?
his other
Blissey gets
option, I
rocks
think.
though.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, maybe he's just gonna like click head smash and try to trade.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Aggron lead's probably pretty decent in Gen 4, not gonna lie.
I think Metang, he was between that Metang, and I think that was the better choice of him. Metang personally, but
No
Yeah.
Eviolite Metang, better than Aggron, confirmed.
the Aegon has 30 now, right? Yeah. It just doesn't have heavy metal, which is never wrong. Except for low kicks, I guess. Oh wait, no. Light metal. Whoops.
I don't know, his team is like, it's like weird, because he has like stall core of Blissey Fortress, and then he's got like super aggressive Gyarados Flygon.
Even like Glade
loves Fortress Blissey.
It just doesn't feel like his team synergizes to me.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of like, I don't know, he has a lot of good pieces, but they don't really go together.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's going to make some interesting sets. Definitely.
Yeah, this is definitely a team that Hydra can do some work with.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we have Lucas, who has Swampert, Azelf, Roserade, Abomasnow, Feraligatr, Magneton, Hitmonlee, Linoon, and Altaria. So some things to note is that Gator doesn't have Sheer Force, and Linoon doesn't have like the belly drum set this gen, right?
No, because it doesn't have gluttony.
Okay, no gluttony on Linoon.
Wait, no, it does have gluttony. Never mind.
Do they have the berries this gen?
No,
Oh, another thing to note, extreme speed is only +1 priority this gen, not +2.
Oh wow, I didn't know like the 50% berries were in this gen. Also, I thought that was a newer thing.
Does it have belly drum and extreme speed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's scary then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still has Shadow Claw, extreme speed, C-bomb.
Obviously, he doesn't have throat chop.
But Gunk shot.
Yeah.
Pursuit.
Well, Linoon might be scary.
Yeah, it has Pursuit.
Yeah.
All right, I slept on Linoon. That thing should have been tier 4 then. That's our bad.
It has T-Wave.
Yeah.
It's got T-Wave. GG. It's gonna T-Wave and then it's gonna belly drum in your face while you're paralyzed.
Overall, it's a really interesting team.
Yeah, I think it's kind of Fire Week though. I mean, yes, there's Swampert, but like, I guess for
I mean, it's weird having the double grass. Such a strange core. And I think the real question mark is why does he have a Magneton?
Yeah.
I mean, his dragon is a regular Altaria.
He's pretty ground weak.
And like, is he trapping steals for Roserade and Abomasnow? I guess that's what he's doing. But yeah,
I don't really know why he'd need to trap a steal with Swampert. Like
he's got double water already.
Yeah.
I will say a lot of his team is really frail. Swampert's the only mon that really switches into anything on his team. Like Azelf.
Maybe Roserade could switch in depending on what it was.
Yeah, like the other mons have to like really leverage resistances, but the other mons can't take neutral hits. Like not a single. He has like no pivots on his team.
Especially with no Volt Switch.
No Volt Switch, no U-turn on any of the mons. Actually, Azelf gets U-turn, I think. Yeah, so I think it's going to be really awkward for him. I think he can just find himself in positions where Swampert is going to take 2-3 hits, and it's going to go down, and he's just going to get blown past.
Yeah, and even like...
There's just no defensive backbone whatsoever.
He's going to always have to be running like a Rindo Berry or something on Swampert, because if he gets hit with one grass move, like...
just tech HP grass on anything. Because if you take out the pert, like this team's not even fast. I mean, other than Azelf. And Roserade's only like
Lightning,
90 speed, right?
Let me check.
Yeah.
It's less than 100.
Lightning.
And a Linoon, I think, is 100 speed.
Yeah. And then Azelf
Azelf
is 115.
That's a very interesting mon because, I mean, obviously the Suicide Rocks are Explosion is a good lead, but if he
Yeah, but
loses
what
that,
I don't think he really even has the team to like prosper off of a suicide lead. He doesn't have like a super high pressure like Gyarados, you know, like Metagross that's gonna like set
his
up on
heavy
you and like
hitter-
hit you.
His heavy hitters need to set up. Like for Alligator, Linoon, like they all need to be set up before they can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I
and
guess you could
no,
run Banded for Alligator, but
no Unburdened Lee yet.
Nope.
As Lumber and
I
Reckless.
don't know. I think Hitmonlee already is pretty bad without Unburden, and then like with Unburden, and then without like.
I mean, Limber is a pretty nice ability in this gen.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't
High
know.
jump kick?
Obama Snow got soundproof.
Oh yeah, I
And
ran that
high
on
jump kick does
I ran
less.
that on the Mega Obama Snow before I Mega Evolved it against Jamesy in KSL Season 2 because I was using it as my main switch into Sylveon because I knew he'd carry HP Ground for a Heat Ram. Anyways, so I'd say the best drafts. I really like Alex draft. I like Jamesy's, Jake's, Eon's is good. I'd say some of the lesser drafts are JG, Shen, Jojo, and Lucas. I'd say that Hydra, Witch, Blaze, Romeo are more middle drafts to me.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In LTPL, I got ranked 8th out of 12, and I'm currently 5-0 plus 19. So
That's okay. I got voted against in pick'ems every single week in DPL. I'm at 5-4. So.
And you're a champ now.
Yeah, I'm DPL Season 2 champion. Can't take that away from me.
All right. This should definitely be an interesting tournament, to say the least.
Thank you all for tuning in, and I look forward to making some more KSL content. I hope to do some commentaries for some games here. So, thanks all for tuning in, and thank you, Blaze and Romeo, for joining me.
Hey, anytime.
Thank you.
Peace.